We know in sports, things get heated, but most of the time, it's the players that start scrapping. These are some moments where coaches had some heated times. Some of these clips really might make you get out of your seat, like what? That really just happened. Bobby Knight flings a chair across the court. In one of the most iconic moments in college hoops, Indiana Hoosiers head coach Bobby Knight threw a chair across the court. The incident occurred during a game against Purdue in 1985. Knight exploded after the Hoosiers were called for their third foul in a span of 59 seconds. He uttered a little something something, and that resulted in the first of 3 successive technical fouls. He picked up a red plastic chair with both hands and flung it across the court. Jaws, of course, dropped all throughout Assembly Hall. And what triggered Knight's legendary breakdown began when Indiana's Steve Alford was whistled for a foul at 4:01. Less than a minute later, Marty Simmons was called for a foul during a scramble for a loose ball, a play that Knight thought should have been a jump ball. When Daryl Thomas was charged with a foul on the inbound play, Knight went off like a firecracker on the 4th of July. Bobby Cox throws a helmet onto the field. Back in 1992, in Game 3 of the Fall Classic, the Braves skipper chucked a helmet on the field out of pure frustration after his club was on the wrong end of a strike him out, throw him out double play. Umpire Joe West saw the incident and ejected him right away. Cox was peeved with West's strike zone all night, so you definitely didn't need to tell him twice about going out there and giving him a piece of his mind. Lou Pinella throws first base. In a matchup between the Texas Rangers and Seattle Mariners on September 18, 2002, the Mariners manager Lou Pinella pulled out a stunt that we hadn't seen from him in more than a decade. The game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 9th inning. First base umpire C.B. Buckner called Mariners catcher Ben Davis out at first base in a close play to end the inning. Next thing you know, Lou flies out there like his pants are on fire. He slammed his hat into the ground and, of course, was screaming in Buckner's face. Buckner wasted no time and threw Pinella out of the game, but he did so with a smirk on his face, and that only made him more mad. Pinella then screamed at his own first base coach, Johnny Moses, to go pick up his hat. Moses retrieved the hat and handed it to him. And then he slammed it on the ground again. Then, as if it was second nature, he reached down, yanked out the first base off of the field. And after doing his best impersonation of Rickey Henderson, he went ahead and chucked that base down the right side of the field. But apparently that wasn't good enough, so he went up and got it again and threw it for a second time. Like, man, when coaches are in heat of the moment, man, y'all better watch out. Philip Wellman has a meltdown. Philip Wellman's 2007 tear is one for the ages. Wellman was managing the Double-A Mississippi Braves at the time, and they were playing against the Chattanooga Lookouts that night. Pitcher Kelvin Villa was ejected from the game for using a foreign substance, and the rest is history. Wellman charged out of the dugout and expressed his displeasure in a number of ways. Most notable, though, he threw the Rosen bag like a grenade at the feet of the umpire. Like, woo! And that earned him a 3-game suspension from his big league bosses, but he managed the Mississippi team for 3 more seasons after that. Earl Weaver calls the umpire a liar. And like I just showed you, managers in baseball, man, they can get down. There might not be a better time than when Baltimore Orioles skipper Earl Weaver went down on his tantrum. And the tantrum is what really embodied him to be great. Calling an umpire a liar and getting into it in a back and forth as if it were War of Words on a middle school playground. Man, you can't just help and chuckle at that. Jim Playfair snaps. When disagreeing with the ref on a call, coaches sometimes have the anger get the best of them. While most common is to yell at the ref and typically get escorted out with an ejection. But former minor league hockey coach Jim Playfair wanted to get his money's worth. Mans tore off his jacket and then smashed 2 separate sticks to prove that he was all business during that call. Woody Hayes punches Charlie Bauman straight up. In the days of college football, when Woody Hayes was the head coach of the Buckeyes, he was known for being a hothead. But one time in the Gator Bowl against Clemson in 1978, the game tied at 17 and time winding down. OSU linebacker Charlie Bauman intercepted a pass and began returning it for what had been a game-winning touchdown. And as Bauman is getting near the end zone, Hayes comes flying in out of nowhere and makes a stop. In the process, he punched Bauman in the face. This incident for sure got him fired, and as they say, it's still talked about today. Juwan Howard starts a brawl, no cap. And what seemed like a normal college basketball game went into a viral sensation after University of Michigan coach Juwan Howard definitely got heated after his arm was grabbed and he appeared to strike an opposing coach. Michigan lost to Wisconsin 77-63, and as the two teams shook hands at the end of the game, Wisconsin's head coach Greg Gard appeared to grab Howard after it appeared that he was slow to go shake his hand. Juwan Howard was heated when Greg Gard called a timeout with 15 seconds left in the game and they had a 15-point lead. Words were said to one another and then they got separated. But as Juwan Howard squeezes his way into the center of their crowd, he throws one and lands and connects to the head of Wisconsin's assistant head coach, Joe Krabbenhoft. Now who knows what he said? He could have said, "Yo mama, y'all suck," anything, but either way, he got a big hand to the head. Now Juwan had some heated battles over the years with the Fab Five at Michigan and in the NBA, but this one cost him $40,000 and suspension for the rest of the season. Mike Tomlin tries to trip Jacoby Jones. With the defending Super Bowl champ Ravens ahead 13-7 on a freezing night in Baltimore, Jones believed he was going to take a touchdown to the house to answer the Steelers. Jones fielded the kickoff at the goal line and sprinted untouched along the sideline, and no one else was even by him. But just 38 yards from the end zone, Coach Tomlin stood in the restricted area that separates the sideline from the playing field, and with his back turned to the action, his right foot squarely in the field of play. Tomlin hopped to the left at the last second, but Jones had to swerve to his right to avoid hitting him, and that slight adjustment caused him to get caught by Cortez Allen, and Coach Tomlin was handed a hefty $100,000 fine for that near trip. Man, that wraps it up. Some of the most heated times that coaches got into it. Please drop a thumbs up, subscribe by the bell if you're new, appreciate the view, and as always, thank you for watching.